Last NBA title for the current playoff teams. The most recent one.
Let me try to think. Let me try to think of this. The most recent. Say it again.
The last NBA title for current playoff teams. The most recent title for the current playoff team. So what year that was?
It's either the Sixers or the Bucks.
You know, it's the Sixers. Put them up.
Yeah.
Moses Malone, 1983.
Wow.
Great times.
Wow.
And before that, 1971, when the first super team. Actually, never mind. The first super team was Elgin Baylor and Jerry West. So this is the second super team was built. Oscar Robertson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in 1971 won a title. The other franchise, the only other franchise to have won a title in this group, the Hawks in 1958, but they were the St. Louis Hawks. So I say nay, and I cut them out. So it's only two teams that have won a title.
Wow, when you put it like that, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe wow. All right.
This is the year of the new bloods in the NBA.
Because if it was Nets Clippers, I was going to be disgusted at the idea of those two teams playing each other for a title. But now,
you mentioned ABA. The Nets have won ABA titles. The Nets have won 2 ABA titles.
Okay.
So there is a little bit of
what is the
you know how they do this. You know, these graphics, they'll get you.
What is the exchange rate of ABA to NBA titles?
Because 0.8.
That's crazy. Wow, how about that?
Yeah, I mean, but then it leads us to the larger conversation of what is best for the NBA brand, right? If you don't have the Lakers, you don't have the Celtics, where you can add on to this amazing legacy, you can build on the bandwagon fans. You know, you could go Sixers. They haven't won one this century. Obviously, when the Eagles won, that was great for the NFL, great for sports in general. The Bucks, we talked about what they dealt with in the bubble with Kenosha. They have, I think, the best player in basketball, Giannis Antetokounmpo. So they have their own fascinating storyline. Then you got, like, the Suns, who maybe should have won a championship. They're a very storied franchise in the NBA. They have, this great storyline with Chris Paul, who has always been dogged for not winning a championship. If he were able to get this team to a ring, how does that change his legacy? So that's a fascinating wrinkle. You got Jokic, the MVP, and the Nuggets. They've never won a title, even though they've been there multiple times. The Jazz, like you said, the #1 seed. We've seen them fall short to Jordan before. They've been there on the precipice, on the cusp.
Yep.
So there's lots of storylines, and you could argue with me, honestly, pretty much any of them. And I think that's, except for the Nets. Don't argue.
I think that's it. I think it's Nets, Clippers. As long as that doesn't happen, America wins.
Then it's a narrative that we can all get behind. Exactly.
I think when Steve Nash beats the Suns in the NBA Finals, I think that is worst case scenario
for everybody.
For everybody. That's just devastating.
I mean, and if you're the Suns. I mean, after he went to the Lakers, you kind of gave him a pass. When Steve Nash went to the Lakers, it was kind of like, all right, late in his career, super team, Kobe, yada, yada, yada. But if he coaches the team that takes away your championship, that would probably be the final.
I'm pulling for, I think I want Nuggets or Jazz in the, I like the Suns, all right. Anytime you say a thing you like, you have to, I just feel the Suns fans being like, oh, what did we do to you? But I think I'm pulling for Jazz Nuggets. And then I just want the Bucks to come out of the East. I don't care how they do it. I mean, you're going to have to beat the Nets, obviously, but I don't care if the Hawks or Sixers. Whoever wins that series. I want the Bucks. I think that's best for the NBA is the Bucks win the title. And Giannis, having an international guy who's a superstar already.
I told you, international Jordan.
Beloved. Yeah, I think that's great. I think that would be a great move for who's like the last. I'd have to think about this off the top of my head. Is Dirk like the last international Finals MVP, or you know what I'm saying? Like best player on the title. I mean, unless Tim Duncan counts.
Yeah, the Bahamas. I think it's Dirk. It's got to be Dirk.
Who's the last guy that's like definitively un-American? Because Tim Duncan played for USA. It's Dirk. So we need a new guy. We need Giannis to get over the hump for. I guess a lot of like Embiid would count. Jokic would count. Whatever.
We got a lot of great international players. In fact, if you were going to start a franchise right now, it might be the first time in NBA history where you would say, I start my team with an international player, and nobody would, bat an eye. Like if you said, I'm going to start my team with Giannis, people say, good pick. Start with Luka, good pick. Start with Jokic, good pick. Start with Embiid, good pick. And that's above Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant. I mean, if you did it, it wouldn't be crazy, and I think that's fascinating. In general,
where do we land on the Whose Hands power rankings? If you're giving the people an idea of now that Luke is out, the league is not in his hands anymore.
Yeah.
It's got to be Trey. You're saying Devin Booker?
I think it's Donovan Mitchell or Devin Booker. I think
not Trae Young.
It is Trey's in there. Trey's in there. The league cannot be in Trey's hands. Not by my
Tate, did you
assertion.
not hear what I was saying
Not by
earlier?
my
You can't hurt
assertion.
this man.
No, I'm
you
saying,
can't hate this man.
I'm saying
fuels
that
him.
is what the league, the NBA, will never market themselves where the league is in Trey's hands, is what I'm saying in that sense. So that's why I'm saying that Donovan Mitchell and Devin Booker are the ones, and Ben Simmons. Those are
You don't
probably the
think
three that they
like,
put it in.
I hear what you're saying. I think I
There's
might
no
disagree.
way.
I think Atlanta helps with Trey. I think Atlanta is a great
Atlanta's a great city.
it's a great city,
Yeah.
but it's also Atlanta. Let's be honest, kind of the only major. No offense, Charlotte, but if we're talking about southern cities,
Well,
that-
Atlanta's the capital of the South.
yeah, it's the capital of the South.
Yeah.
It represents an entire region of this country, and I think the idea of trying to prop up Atlanta to the
I would
NBA
never
is a great
argue
idea.
Charlotte over Atlanta for the record. You know, I'm not that guy.
I don't know enough about it either way. I'm saying from a
You're
from
right.
a marketing
You're right.
perspective, Atlanta has cachet for the NBA in that regard. That like it's certainly a bigger deal than the Magic or the. I mean, even Miami doesn't count as the
But
South.
the
does it? That's its
team,
own-
the Atlanta Hawks currently, one,
Yeah.
cheap ownership.
Yeah.
Two, they haven't even paid their coach who's winning them games, and they are basically trying to weirdly say, we don't want you. So he's going to start doing interviews pretty soon, Nate McMillan. So that's already strange that that's happening. So, like, yes, the Atlanta from the outside looking in, it looks great, but it's a mess. That whole
the
thing is
idea
a
of
mess.
Trae Young in Atlanta, I'm saying, being
Yes.
elevated.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
The rest of it, though, you're saying
It's
it
a
can't
mess.
happen.
It's
All
a
right.
mess. But Trae Young, if he does beat the Sixers, then the NBA can't deny him. That's what would be fascinating because, like I said, they don't want the league to be in his hands. That's my whole point. The league, where the ball goes, whose hands it in, it is decided by the entertainment president, Adam Silver, and he will not put the ball in Trey's hands.
What about Luke Kennard?
Maybe
Put
$64
it in Luke
million
Kennard's
man.
hands. Michael Porter.
Michael Porter Jr., we'd put it in his hands. That's for sure. I was going to say, like, what is the most likable team left in the NBA playoffs? I mean, Sixers, Bucks, Hawks, Clippers, Jazz, Nets, Nuggets, Suns. I do think the most likable team that America has fallen in love with, sincerely, and I say this, is probably the Bucks. Like,
Yeah.
I think Giannis is liked by the majority of Americans. Like, he
yeah.
does not have any sort of stench to him. There's been no reason for anyone to not like him. He is taken
I think
the
here's
punches
the
and
problem.
bounce back.
Here's the problem. I feel like America does not like bigger guys. That this is why
They
Steph
can't relate.
This is why Steph is so beloved beyond being great at basketball. It's the idea of watching a guy and saying the only reason he's good is because he's so big. I think that turns people off. Not
Yeah.
everybody. I don't think people hate Giannis by
No, I
any
know
stretch of
what you're saying.
imagination. But he's missing that extra umph when you watch it because you're like the only reason he's good. This is what the average person
Yes.
that's not paying that much attention would say. The only reason he's good is because he's so tall and he just jumps up and dunks on people. Who cares? That's boring. So that's what worries me about that. Because I think like Devin Booker's fun to watch. You could talk me into the Suns being the most beloved team, but they're kind of new on the scene.
But see, the Suns had that. I think the Suns had the belt until the Game 7, and they let their or Game
'cause
6
they
they let their emotions
yeah.
out, and then the
Too much trash
the
talking,
casual LeBron fans are like, I am out on
Every
the
time-
Suns. I hate them forever. You know what I mean? Like that unfortunately happened to them.
Every time I get a close shot of a guy talking trash, especially if it's far away, like a guy's like kind of yelling across the court,
Yeah.
I just assume every single guy is yelling bitch ass bitch. I don't know why. I just put like I encourage you at home to assume that, and it's fun. It makes it fun if you just assume the guy's like bitch ass bitch, because I think most of them are probably saying that. Like when you
Something
say
along those lines.
when you say
yeah.
give me that shit when you block a shot,
Yeah,
I
I
think it's
mean,
the same sort of thing.
It's what LeBron said
So
to
you see
Steph
Devin
Curry.
Booker talking
yeah.
out the side of his mouth
Yeah.
as he's like, yeah, I just doing that, and you're just he's saying bitch ass bitch. I think.
I mean, the
That's
best
what he
part
said to
about
YouTube.
his little trash talk was he just said, say something. Obviously, nothing was said. He said, that's what I thought.
Bitch ass bitch.
Exactly. Yeah, insert it.
So I thought you bitch ass bitch. It's so good.
It's great.
I think the Nuggets are fun too, right?
Yeah, the Jokic is Giannis. Like Jokic and Giannis, like Nuggets
Yeah.
Bucks is the most
That would
likable
be the
series
most likable
for everybody.
series. I think so too.
And I think we all watch it and we almost feel bad for the team that loses. Kind of with the Blazers series. Like I felt bad for the team that lost every one of those games. I never was like great win over here. I was like, oh man, that sucked for the other team. I feel like that's how the finals would be with those two teams.
I would agree with all that.
Hey there, thanks for watching Titus and Tate. For the full friend of the program experience, subscribe right below and come join us for all things college basketball. The action is heating up. Come join Titus and Tate.